I love a good crunchy granola. It's one of my favorite foods when I'm looking for a quick and healthy snack to munch on, or something tasty to pair with a bowl of yogurt, cereal, chia pudding, or overnight oats. When I started making my own homemade granola and realized just how easy it was to make, I never went back to store-bought granola ever again. It's so easy to customize with my own ingredients, so I know exactly what I'm putting into it without any artificial additives. I also love that I can adjust the sweetness level to my liking, and it's also more affordable than buying it pre-packaged from the store. The best part is I can make this with wholesome, nutritious ingredients like oats, nuts, seeds, and dried fruits, all things that I typically always have in my kitchen. Today, I'll show you 4 of my favorite homemade granola recipes, and I'll show you how to make these either as loose granola, which works great as a tasty topping, or as big, chunky granola clusters that are perfect for snacking. This recipe requires just a few minutes of prep time, but as with many recipes, I'll often have some idle time while I'm waiting for the food to bake, chill, or harden. One of my favorite things to do while I wait is to grab my iPad and turn on a relaxing game. And that brings me to the sponsor of today's video, June's Journey. June's Journey is a hidden object game that's perfect for anyone who loves puzzles and solving mysteries. You'll be transported back to the glamorous 1920s where you'll help our hero June Parker solve the mystery of her sister's murder. Your job is to find hidden objects in each scene that'll earn you clues to uncover her family's secrets and help her solve this murder mystery. This game is full of beautiful graphics and stunning artwork. You'll follow a thrilling storyline with rich characters and jump from exotic islands to luxurious estates. As you earn more rewards, you get to unlock beautiful furniture, designs, and decorations to fill your mansion with. I find this game both fun and super relaxing to play after a long, busy day. And as I said before, it's a great way to spend 20 or 30 minutes while you're waiting for the oven timer. The best part is you can download this game and play for free. Just click the link in the description box below or scan the QR code that you see on screen. June's Journey is available on Android and iOS mobile devices, so you can play on your phone or tablet, as well as on PC through Facebook games. Again, thank you to June's Journey for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to the recipes. First, I'm going to show you a basic formula for any good granola recipe. To start, we'll need rolled oats as our base. Rolled oats work best here because of how well they keep their shape during baking. Then, we're going to need a sticky sweetener. I find that maple syrup produces a looser granola, while honey works better for making those big, chunky granola clusters. Then we'll need a neutral oil to make our granola crisp up. You can use melted coconut oil, olive oil, or avocado oil here. And lastly, some mix-ins. You can use nuts, seeds, dried fruits, chocolate chips, whatever you like. Let's get into the recipes. Our first recipe is an easy and delicious maple walnut raisin granola. First, in a large bowl, let's combine 2 cups of rolled oats, half a cup of chopped walnuts, a quarter cup of sunflower seeds, half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and a quarter teaspoon of salt. You can also feel free to use whatever nuts and seeds you like. Give these dry ingredients a good mix. Then for our wet ingredients, let's add a quarter cup of maple syrup, a quarter cup of melted coconut oil, and half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Give everything a stir until all the dry ingredients are well coated. Let's then grab a baking sheet, line it with parchment paper, and pour our mixture right onto the sheet. Spread it out and flatten it with a spatula. We're then going to preheat our oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit and then bake it for 25 to 30 minutes. Keep in mind that all ovens are different, so cooking times may vary. Let's give it a quick stir halfway through baking, which will help the oats bake a little bit more evenly. Take it out when it's ready. It should be a light golden color, but not burned. For our mix-ins, let's add half a cup of raisins right on top. Let the granola cool down on the baking sheet untouched for at least 30 to 40 minutes. It's important to just leave it alone and let it fully cool down to give it time to harden. When it's fully chilled, just break up any clumps with your hands in order to get a loose granola like this. While you'll still get some small clusters of granola, this recipe will be on the looser side because I'm using maple syrup. That makes it great to use as a topping, but if you prefer big, chunky granola clusters, I'll show you how to do that in the next few recipes. You can store this away in an airtight container like a mason jar for 1 to 2 weeks at room temperature, or in the freezer for up to 3 months. I personally like using these wide-mouth mason jars, which come in many different sizes. They've got an airtight lid that gives a great seal and look great on my kitchen counter. Feel free to check them out in the video description below. Each recipe will yield about 4 cups of granola, but you can double up the ingredients if you want to make a larger batch. Just make sure to use a big enough baking sheet to spread the granola out on. Our next recipe is this chunky and tasty apricot coconut almond granola. In a large bowl, let's combine 2 cups of rolled oats, half a cup of sliced almonds, a quarter cup of pumpkin seeds, half a cup of shredded coconut flakes, and a quarter teaspoon of salt. Again, you can substitute the nuts and seeds for whatever you like. Give it a good mix. Then let's add a quarter cup of honey. Honey is the key ingredient that's going to help everything stick together to give us those big chunky clusters. Mix in a quarter cup of melted coconut oil, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Give everything a good stir until the dry ingredients are well coated. We're then going to grab a baking sheet lined with parchment paper and pour our mixture right onto the sheet. Spread it out and make sure to press it down firmly with a spatula to flatten and compress everything, which will help the granola stick together. We're then going to bake it in a preheated oven for 25 to 30 minutes at 300 degrees Fahrenheit. This time I'm not going to stir it halfway through so that I can keep the granola stuck together. While it's baking, I'm going to chop up about half a cup of dried apricots into tiny pieces. When the granola is ready, take it out and add the chopped dried apricot right on top. Let it cool down on the baking sheet for at least 30 to 40 minutes. Again, we want to leave it alone to give it time to harden. When it's fully chilled, we can see that the granola has hardened and stuck together into a thick flat sheet. We can then break this apart into whatever size of granola clusters we like. They should break apart into perfectly crunchy and brittle pieces like this. As a quick tip, if you find that your granola still doesn't stick together into chunky clumps, you can add 1 egg white to your mixture before baking. Make sure to whisk it thoroughly, and this will help the ingredients bind together during baking. Store it in an airtight container like a mason jar, and keep it on your counter for 1 to 2 weeks or freeze it to stay fresh for longer. This recipe packs a delicious and rich coconut taste that's super addictive to snack on throughout the day, or to enjoy with overnight oats or a bowl of cereal. Our next recipe is for the chocolate lovers, a chocolate pecan blueberry granola. In a large bowl, let's combine 2 cups of rolled oats, 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder, half a cup of chopped pecans, 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed, 2 tablespoons of hemp hearts, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Again, you can instead use whatever types of nuts and seeds you like. Give it a good mix. Then let's add 1/3 of a cup of honey, a 1/4 cup of olive oil, and half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Give it a good stir until the dry ingredients are well coated. Let's then grab a baking sheet lined with parchment paper and pour our mixture right onto the sheet. Spread it out and press it down with a spatula to flatten and compress everything so it's tightly packed. We're then going to bake it in a preheated oven for 25 to 30 minutes. When it's done baking, take it out and let it cool down for at least 30 to 40 minutes to give it time to harden. When it's fully chilled, let's add a 1/4 cup of chocolate chips and half a cup of dried blueberries right on top. For this recipe, make sure to do this after the granola has chilled, or else you're going to melt the chocolate chips. Now that the granola has hardened into a thick, brittle, flat sheet, we can break this apart into smaller, crunchy chunks in whatever size we like. I love this recipe as a healthy, chocolatey, crunchy snack to munch on, as a bowl of delicious chocolatey cereal for breakfast, or with a couple spoonfuls of Greek yogurt. Our final recipe is this nutty and delicious peanut butter cranberry granola. In a large bowl, let's combine 2 cups of rolled oats, half a cup of chopped walnuts, 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, 2 tablespoons of sunflower seeds, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Give it a good mix. Then let's add a 1/4 cup of honey and a 1/4 cup of natural peanut butter, or you can use seed butter instead if you prefer. Make sure it's the runny and drippy kind so that it can be easily stirred in. Then add 2 teaspoons of avocado oil and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Give it a good mix until everything is well coated. Let's then grab a baking sheet lined with parchment paper and pour our mixture right onto the sheet. Spread it out and press it down with a spatula to flatten and compress. We're then going to bake this in a preheated oven for 25 to 30 minutes. When it's done baking, take it out and top it off with half a cup of dried cranberries. Let it cool down for at least 30 to 40 minutes to give it time to harden. After the granola has fully chilled and hardened into a thick, brittle sheet, we can break it apart into smaller pieces in whatever size we like. I'm a big fan of this granola flavor, which has a really delicious nutty taste with peanut butter that makes it extra filling. Again, enjoy these big, chunky clusters in a bowl of milk as breakfast cereal or as a convenient grab-and-go snack. As you can see, it's so easy to make your own healthy versions of granola at home with just a few simple wholesome ingredients. They're fantastic to have on hand as a nutritious snack, and great to add as a tasty boost to your yogurt, puddings, oatmeal, and cereals. While I've shown you some of my own favorite recipes today, you can customize these with whatever nuts, seeds, dried fruits, and flavors you like. If you give this a try, I'd love to hear what you think. Until next time, thanks for watching. If you'd like to watch more, click here for another video. And if you enjoy my content, I'd really appreciate if you leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.